So he's talking to the redeemed, saying, look, we are no longer servants once we've been made sons. And if we are sons, then we are heirs of the inheritance. What did the Most High say that he was taking them to? It said he took them into his inheritance. He said, you are sojourners with me in the land. This is my inheritance. The nation, his son, was allowed to go and live in a situation with his father. Whatever his father's inheritance is, that's what the son get. So he's telling us, the people, not individuals. This is not a personal salvation issue, even though you personally have decisions to make on what part you want to play, what side you want to be on. He is talking to a whole congregation, telling them, you, the people, redeemed, when we really come unto the Father through Christ and the remission of sins is upon us and we have truly repented, we are no longer servants. We are sons. And if we are sons, then we are heirs of the inheritance. Is the inheritance just something we supposed to feel we inherited? Or is it something we literally supposed to see? Our mothers and fathers in their salvation were being taken to a literal place. Your life is literally going to change from this culture to this culture. Here, the redeemed are leaving the bondage of the world and are coming into the culture of heaven. And that heavenly culture is not something that's a figment in our imagination or something we're supposed to experience after we did. As far as I know, that's when it's too late. I'm talking as far as I know. I want something now. And I'm not demanding anything, but I'm just expressing my desire from what we found. I have been taught to think totally different. It is now something, brothers and sisters, that we are striving towards, that is a change in the very makeup of the cosmos. The world we see with our very eye. The condition we see with our very eye. You want a clean place? If it's dirty, clean it. All of a sudden, the house dirty as heck. You like, man, I got people coming over, and you just give it the greatest clean ever. People come over and like, wow. You even feel different because you feel more comfortable in this clean place. But you ain't like, man, this house dirty. I got people coming. This joint got to get clean. And just continue to sit there until your company showed up. You supposed to get to working. And it's not you as an individual. You as an individual is to take up a particular job among the people. Let us go back up to chapter 20. Look at what the Most High says here, just so we can understand. We were once in bondage to the elements of the world. Let us look at what Egypt was. Exodus 20 and 1 verse 2.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
He done brought you out of the house of bondage. The condition of the people is what dictated that if they were in bondage or not. Your life is what dictates to God whether you are in bondage to the world or not. How is it that what you were in bondage to was literal, but when you free from the bondage, what you come unto is allegorical? How is that? How did they pull that wool over our eyes? Ain't nothing really supposed to change. We just supposed to be kinder, gentler beasts who smile all the time and say, oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Wait, what's up, man? What's going on with you? I'm too blessed to be stressed. All of this stuff prove that salvation is on you? Huh?
Too blessed to be stressed. Man.
That's a good one.
Man, that's a good one.
When I heard a cat say he was too blessed to be stressed, I was like, dang, I must ain't experienced blessing yet, because sometimes just the cat next to me stressing me out. goodness. That man said he was too blessed to be stressed, but yet his master was a man acquainted with grief and sorrow. All these cats is so blessed to not have no trouble, but your master was a man acquainted. Like grief and sorrow, they was like friends. You know, an acquaintance, somebody you be around. Our master was acquainted with grief and sorrow, but yet our blessing is proven and we ain't got no issues. Christ is coming to my life and I'm a new creature. And the things I used to do, I do no more. And that's salvation. But say that to a cat who getting shot at because of the lifestyle he chooses to live and the dirt he's done. And you come tell that man that, you know what I'm saying? You know, Jesus loves you. And I'm going to pray for you. He may not believe you. But if your word have some effect, do you know that in order for this person to receive salvation, they have to literally make a physical, tangible body motion move to leave the life that they're living and go to church? They got to do something. Immediately, something has to start to change. Yeah, man, I am tired of it, man. I done been locked up. I've been shot a couple times, and I still find myself out here in this cycle. And I'm out here just to make money, but I don't want to be in this. I may come visit your church. You got to physically leave where all the hustling and the prostitution is to go even sit down and listen to someone preaching the word. That you literally have to leave the environment you in that's causing your trouble to get a moment of peace so you can hear truth. So how is that literal? But yet, everything else that come after you make the decision is a feeling. And it's having no results in the tangible world. And when I say that, I'm not saying that you aren't making strides. This isn't knocking us trying to become morally right in the sight of the Most High. This is not in any way kicking against that part of the gospel. But what I'm saying is that the salvation that God brought was not for an individual. He brought salvation for a people. And when they receive salvation, literally their immediate circle of society will change. Egypt was the house of bondage, huh? And we all have been stuck to bondage of the elements of the world. Let us go back to Galatians 4. Go back to Galatians 4, and Brother Judah, we want to read verse 8 and verse 9. Verse 8 and verse 9, I'm telling you, Christ was truly like unto Moses. Truly like unto Moses. Moses felt he wanted nothing special to look at, and it let us know that Christ was coming with no form, no comeliness that we should desire. Go ahead.
Galatians 4 and what?
4, verse 8 and 9.
Howbeit then, when ye knew not God, ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now, after that ye have known God, or rather are known of God, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements, whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage?
How is it that after you have known God or are known of him, you are turning back to the bondage that you've been freed from? Like our mothers and fathers had knew God and seen his hand and were on their way out of captivity. And when they came to that great gulf they had to cross and seen that oppression behind them chasing them down, they actually in their mind started to turn back to the bondage that they just were brought out of. We are doing the same thing if we don't walk this thing in pureness and sincerity of heart. We will turn right back to the thing he left us from. And when you read the next verse and he say, ye observe days and months and times and years, I am afraid of you, this, that, and the third. People go here, this is a sidebar. People go hearing you, when one dude showed me this text on why you ain't supposed to keep the Sabbath days no more, The weekly Sabbath or the seasonal Sabbaths. He read this one and said, brother, that's going back to that bondage of the law. See, Paul said, you observing days and times and months. He said he was afraid of you. This ain't got nothing to do with that. The context was, when you didn't know God, you served by nature the things that aren't God. And now after you have known God, how do you turn back to them things? Y'all observing days and months and years and times. I'm afraid of y'all. He talking about the idolatry they left. And when they turned back to it, they turned back to the culture. Do you know what years, days, months are? That's your life. Your life is centered around what you serve. What is passing for us but our years and our days and our months? Isn't that all that's taken away? So we want to spend our years, days, and months chasing after this heavenly culture, aka that heavenly culture whose maker was God that Abraham was looking for and thought he would run into on the earth. Why is everybody wanting to go to heaven, but Abraham was walking around Canaan looking for a literal place? Was he out his cotton picking?
Yeah, he was looking for a literal place.
He was looking for a country in a city whose maker was God. On earth, he was looking for it. He wasn't saying, I ain't got to look for nothing. I'm just going to die, be good and die. And go to the promised city. He was looking for something on earth. Abraham was looking for a tangible environment because everywhere him and Sarah lived, he was afraid. These, man, I got a beautiful wife, man. These people want to try to kill me, take my woman, say I'm your brother. He was not comfortable with the culture of the societies that he had to sojourn among as he looked for this city. How is it that we're not looking for a heavenly country, a heavenly city, where there's a certain culture and a certain society? That's what we're supposed to be looking for. Brothers and sisters, we cannot turn back to the weak and desire. He said, and desire again that bondage, just like it was wrong for our mothers and fathers at the Red Sea when they seen Egypt, instead of saying, let us bow as one and pray before Yah and cry unto him. We seen his 10 plagues. We know he can touch these people. Moses, cry unto the Father and ask him to deliver us. That wasn't their mindset. The mindset was, man, it probably was better we never really got into dealing with trying to get freedom. It was better for us to have just stayed in Egypt and served the Egyptians, because coming out here, we think we might die. And I'm telling you that everything that this socialist, democratic, political side of the gospel present to people, they keep it to themselves because they are afraid. They are afraid. See, this is what you don't understand. My flesh can tremble too. I got a wife. I got kids. You don't think that I don't think about if things really go forward, what kind of position that people who would choose to be around us could be in? You don't think ain't nobody thought about that? We think about that. This dude went great thinking about it. But I'm more afraid of what would happen if we don't. That's what I'm afraid of. Everything that can happen has been put in my face.
In other words, not doing it ain't going to save you.
Not doing it won't save you.
Ain't going to save you. No heartache or nothing.
Not leaving Egypt was not... Staying in Egypt was not going to end the oppression they cried for. And the Most High told Moses, I hear their cry. They're crying. Not me.
Yeah, can I add, as you bringing that out, what's interesting is, like you said, they would have stayed in Egypt after the whole society was destroyed. Who would have been rebuilding it? You know, it would have been even harder. You know, they had hard bondage when the treasure cities was built. Now they all destroyed. And y'all wanted to stay. Hold on now, you got to think about that.
But what I understand is I'm not condemning the mothers and fathers. Right. What I'm saying is what fear did. That's what fear did. And that's why the fearful and the unbelieving cannot inherit the kingdom. You know why they can't inherit it? Because they won't take it to themselves.